Hey, coin hunters and curious collectors, gather around because today's episode might just change your pocket change into a paycheck. You ever get handed a penny and just toss it aside like it's useless? Yeah, we've all been there. Maybe you dropped one and said, nah, not worth the back pain to pick it up. But what if I told you one of those dusty little pennies could be worth over $1 million? Yeah, you heard me. $1.1 million for a 2008 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Welcome to the channel where we turn your spare change into spare mansions. I'm your friendly neighborhood coin nerd here to drop some copper-coated knowledge on you, so grab your jar of coins, maybe even dig through the couch cushions, because who knows what's hiding under those Dorito crumbs. Today we're diving deep into the 2008 no mint Mark Lincoln penny that's got collectors drooling and banks doing double takes, so buckle up. We're gonna talk value, history, errors, and even a little story about how I almost used a valuable coin to buy a pack of gum. True story. Alright, so let's get into it. First things first, the 2008 no mint Mark Lincoln penny doesn't scream millionaire at first glance. It's just your typical brownish red coin with Abe Lincoln looking all serious like he just found out how much he's actually worth. But here's the deal: most pennies from 2008 were made in Philadelphia, which means they don't have a mint mark. That part isn't weird, but what is weird is that a specific batch of these no mint mark coins were struck with some crazy rare errors. Now we're not talking about minor little nicks or scratches, we're talking about full-blown minting mistakes. These errors can include things like double dies, off-center strikes, and even transitional metals. Basically, some coins slipped through quality control like they were trying to sneak into a movie theater, and one of those little sneaky pennies ended up being sold for over $1.1 million. That's right, a 2008 no mint Mark Lincoln penny with an error so rare that collectors were throwing money at it like it owed them rent. So what makes your 2008 penny possibly worth a fortune? Let me break it down like an old school rap beat. Number 1, check for doubling. Look closely at the date or Abe's face. If it looks like he's had one too many cups of coffee and there's a blurry double image, you might be holding a double die error. Number 2, look for off-center strikes. If part of the design looks like it missed the party and ended up halfway off the coin, that could be a jackpot. Number 3, weird weight or color. Some of these coins were struck on the wrong planchets, which means they're either too light, too heavy, or a different color altogether, like a grayish tone instead of the normal copper. Number 4, super clean, uncirculated condition. If the coin is in near perfect shape, it can be worth even more. Mint condition coins are like the superheroes of the collecting world. Now here's where it gets personal and hilarious. I was once standing in line at a gas station back in 2017 trying to buy a candy bar. I was digging through my pocket and found this super shiny 2008 penny. I almost used it to pay, but the cashier was super slow, so I had time to notice something was off. The coin looked too perfect, too bright, too smooth. I am no expert back then, but I had a gut feeling, so I didn't use it. I took it home, googled a bunch of stuff, and long story short, it wasn't the $1 million coin, but it was still worth about $150. Not bad for a penny. I almost used to buy peanut M&Ms. That moment turned me into a coin detective. I started checking every penny, nickel, dime, you name it, and guess what? It's addicting, like a treasure hunt that fits in your pocket, and you can do it too. That's what makes this so exciting. You don't need to be rich to get started, you just need curiosity, a magnifying glass, and maybe a good lamp, because let me tell you, squinting at coins under dim light is not the move. Let's talk market value real quick. That $1 million coin didn't just show up and say hi, it had to go through grading, authentication, and a collector who was willing to shell out serious cash. As of now, the market value for this rare penny has held steady around $1.1 million. That's not some internet myth, that's based on actual auction sales and private collectors who know what's up. So if you're holding one of these bad boys, don't rush to the vending machine. Take it to a professional coin dealer or get it graded by services like PCGS or NGC. You might just be sitting on a payday. Number 1, pennies are not worthless, they could be worth more than your car, maybe even more than your house. Number 2, always check your change. You never know what rare gem is hiding at the bottom of your pocket. Number 3, if you ever almost use a rare penny to buy junk food, maybe stop and look at it first, could save you $1 million. Now here's the deal: if you enjoyed this video and want to learn how to turn your pocket change into profits, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I've got more tips, tricks, and treasure stories coming your way, and if you've ever found a weird coin or used a rare one by mistake, drop your story in the comments. I want to hear about your $1 million mishaps. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just turn into serious cash. Today I've got a mind-blowing story about a coin that could be hiding right in your pocket or maybe at the bottom of your junk drawer. You ever hear of the 1991 mint Mark Lincoln penny? Well, buckle up, because one of these tiny copper treasures recently hit the market with a jaw-dropping value of $12 million. That's right folks, 12 million, not a typo, not a joke. I mean, if I had one of these in my piggy bank, I'd be filming this video from a yacht in the Bahamas. Now before you go flipping over every penny in your wallet, let's talk about what makes this little coin so darn special. So what's up with the 1991 Lincoln penny? Why is it worth more than my car, my rent, and my entire streaming subscriptions combined? Well, it's got a story and a half. Back in 1991, the Denver Mint struck billions of Lincoln cents. I mean, we're talking mass production, but here's the twist: Once in a blue moon a coin slips through with an error, a defect, a funky quirk, and suddenly collectors go wild for it. Think of it like the coin version of a rare Pokemon card. One of these pennies was struck with a unique die error, and that one special coin ended up making headlines. It was flawless, shiny, perfectly struck with razor-sharp details, and basically screamed, "I'm rare, love me now." Here's where it gets wild. It was graded MS70 by a top coin grading company that's mint state 70, aka perfection. Like the Michael Jordan of pennies, and because it was the only known one in that grade with the Denver Mint mark, it got scooped up at auction for a life-changing $12 million. Imagine finding that while digging for quarters in your couch cushions. I once found a penny stuck to a piece of gum under my car seat. True story. Thought it was trash, turned out to be a 1991 D, not the $1 million one sadly, but man, for about 5 seconds I thought I was about to call my boss and say I quit. I'm a coin millionaire now. Not all 1991 D pennies are going to make you rich. Sorry to burst that bubble. Most are worth exactly 1 cent, or if you're lucky a couple of bucks if they're in super good shape. But if you stumble upon one that's uncirculated, pristine, and especially if it looks like it could be a mint error, you're talking hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. And if by some miracle it matches the MS70 unicorn, well, you know, $12 million payday incoming. Pro tip: grab a magnifying glass, get cozy, and start checking those pennies. Look for super sharp details, no scratches, no wear, and if something about it just looks weird or off, like double stamping or odd coloration, it's worth a closer look. Also consider getting it graded. Trust me, it could be worth the cost if you've got something special. Quick story for you: I once dragged my entire coin collection to a local coin shop thinking I had hit the jackpot. I had old coins, shiny coins, foreign coins. Even one I thought was from ancient Rome. Turns out it was a token from an old arcade, still worth like 10 cents in nostalgia, but nothing more. The guy at the shop was super nice though, and he gave me one tip that I'll never forget: always check the date and mint mark. That advice right there led me down the rabbit hole that brought me to today, talking to all of you fine folks about $1 million pennies. So here's the deal, friends: if you've got a pile of change somewhere, maybe in a jar in your kitchen or rattling around in your car, you might just be sitting on a goldmine. The 1991 D Lincoln penny is proof that even the smallest coins can hold massive value with the right conditions. Who knew Abe Lincoln was hiding that kind of money behind his honest face? If you learned something new, laughed a little, or now feel the urge to search through every single penny you've ever seen, do me a favor, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I've got more tips, tricks, and stories on coins worth serious money. You won't want to miss it. Hit that bell too, so you're the first to know when I drop the next video. And hey, if you do find $1 million coin, let me know. Maybe we can split a pizza or a yacht depending on how generous you're feeling. Alright, picture this: you're digging through your junk drawer looking for a AAA battery, and you stumble upon a handful of pennies. You're about to chuck them into the coin jar when suddenly, wait a second, you notice one of them has a D on it. Not just any D. A 1978 D. What if I told you that little brown coin, the one you've probably dropped between your car seats a dozen times, might actually be worth, drumroll please, $1.3 million? Sounds crazy, right? But that's the wild world of coin collecting for you. And today, my friend, we're going to dive deep into the story behind the legendary 1978 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's turning heads in the collector market and making regular folks like you and me wish we'd paid more attention to our pocket change. So grab your magnifying glass, maybe a soda, and let's talk about how this 1 cent wonder became a millionaire's treasure. Okay, so here's the backstory. The 1978 D Lincoln penny was minted in, no surprise, Denver. That's what the little d stands for. Over 4.2 billion of these things were minted. Yup, billion with a B. So you're probably wondering, if they made billions, how is one worth $1.3 million? Well, like any good treasure hunt, it's all about the details. See, not every 1978 D penny is valuable. Most of them are still worth, you guessed it, a penny. But a few rare ones? Those are the golden geese of the numismatic world. The $1 million 1978 D penny is a unicorn. It's got a rare combination of errors, high-grade condition, and scarcity that makes collectors foam at the mouth like they just spotted a Charizard card at a garage sale for a buck. And when we say high-grade, we mean mint state. Think shiny. Think flawless. Like, you can see your reflection and your past life regrets in it. But here's the kicker: it's not just about condition. Some of these pennies have doubling on the date or lettering, unusual metal composition, or even off-center strikes. Those tiny differences are what make the difference between pocket change and pocket gold. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was visiting my aunt. Sweet woman, makes the best banana bread, and she had this old glass jar full of change sitting on top of her fridge. You know the one. Every family's got a coin jar that's probably older than you are. So we're sitting there talking, and she's like, "Can you take this to the bank for me?" It's heavy, and I'm too old to lift it. So of course I say yes. I'm going through the coins, sorting them, and suddenly I see a penny that just looks different. Shiny. Like it hadn't aged with the rest of us. I flip it over. Boom. 1978 D. Now, I didn't think much of it at first. But I took it home and looked it up. Lo and behold, it had doubling on the date and was in crazy good condition. I sent it off for grading, heart pounding, thinking, what if, a few weeks later, I get the results? MS68 red. That's coin collector talk for, holy cow, this thing's perfect. Estimated auction value? 6 figures now. Was it the $1.3 million one? No. But it got me deep into the hobby. And ever since, I've been eyeballing every penny I come across like a treasure hunter. This coin has to be mint state, no scratches, full luster, sharp detail. We're talking MS68 or better. In coin terms, red is the ideal. It means the penny has maintained its original copper shine. Not brown, not rusty, just shiny red. It's not just condition. The real money comes when there's a rare error like doubling on Lincoln's bust, or a dramatic off-center strike. Professional grading makes or breaks the value. A PCGS or NGC slab with the right certification sends that price into orbit. If it's known in collector circles, passed through prestigious auctions, or was featured in publications, the value skyrockets. Some collectors say there are only a few of these perfect 1978 D pennies known to exist. And when one shows up at auction, it becomes a feeding frenzy. Let's be real. Coin collecting is kind of like Pokemon, but with real money. You're out there looking for that ultra-rare, shiny variant. But instead of shouting, Pikachu, I choose you, you're whispering, Lincoln, don't fail me now. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors going. And pennies? They're the wild cards. Everyone ignores them. Everyone underestimates them. But the rare ones, those are the silent millionaires, and let's not even get started on the weird places people find these coins. One guy reportedly found his valuable penny stuck in the lining of his vacuum cleaner. Another found it glued to a school project from the 80s. Bottom line, check your junk drawers, your glove boxes, your old piggy banks. That penny might be your ticket to retirement. Part 5, Tips for Finding Your Own 1978 D Treasure. Alright, so now that you're ready to become a full-time penny prospector, here are some hot tips. Get a magnifying glass, not the Sherlock Holmes kind, get a good one with at least 10x magnification. Look for the mint mark, you want the D under the ear, right next to Lincoln's shoulders. Check for errors, doubling, misprints, off-centers, weird metal. These are the jackpot signs. Learn to grade. The higher the grade, the fatter the paycheck. Use coin forums and Facebook groups. Lots of helpful folks out there sharing tips and showing off their finds. Don't clean your coins, seriously. Collectors want the original surface. Cleaning them is like trying to polish a Picasso with a Brillo PAD. So there you have it. The 1978 D Abraham Lincoln penny. A coin most people don't think twice about. But in the right condition? With the right quirks? It's worth more than most people's cars. Or houses. Or maybe even their student loans. And now, I want you to do one thing when this video ends. Go grab that old jar of coins, that couch cushion stash, or those pennies collecting dust in your center console. Because who knows? You might be sitting on $1 million and not even know it. And hey, if you found this video helpful or even just mildly entertaining, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button, give it a like, and tap that bell so you don't miss the next video. I've got more coin tips, money strategies, and wild numismatic stories coming your way. Hey coin hunters, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just be your ticket to millionaire status. If you're new here, grab your coffee, maybe even a magnifying glass, and get ready to dive into one of the most mind-blowing coin stories of our time. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever tossed a penny aside thinking, meh, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that little Lincoln copper-colored disc sitting in your couch cushion could be worth more than a Ferrari, more than your student loans, more than your house? Yes, I'm talking about the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny, currently valued at an insane $1.4 million. Stick around, because today we're not just talking about a penny, we're talking about a modern treasure hunt, and who knows, the next millionaire could be watching this video right now. Alright, first let's break it down. You're probably thinking, okay, it's a 2016 penny, big whoop, they're everywhere, and you'd be right about that. 2016 was a huge Mintage year for the Lincoln cent, and most of them are worth exactly what you'd expect 1 cent unless you come across that holy grail version. So what makes this particular 2016 no mint mark penny so special? Well, it's a combination of rarity, error, and demand. Picture this: the Philadelphia Mint accidentally released a batch of 2016 pennies missing critical design elements or with misstrikes, doubling, errors, or even experimental planchets. Now one of these coins found its way into circulation and collectors lost their minds when it surfaced. The condition was nearly flawless, the strike was off just enough to make it stand out, and boom, the bids started flying. Now before we go further, let me tell you a little story. I once found a weird looking penny at the bottom of my washing machine. It had no mint mark, the edges looked slightly off, and for a hot second I thought I'd hit the jackpot. I ran to my computer, pulled up every coin site I could find, and even joined 3 collector forums that night. Spoiler alert, mine was just corroded by detergent and lost all its detail, but it taught me something. It taught me that $1 million pennies are real and they are out there hiding in plain sight. Back to the 2016 penny. This particular coin was graded by a top-tier grading service. I'm talking MS69 red, and had a doubling error on Lincoln's ear and the date, plus a smooth planchet anomaly, making it one of a kind. The lucky finder actually discovered it in their change jar just sorting through coins during quarantine. I guess we all went a little stir crazy, and they went a little coin crazy, and now they're a millionaire. And here's where it gets juicy. At an elite auction, this bad boy fetched a hammer price of $1.4 million. That's right, for one single penny. Let me put that into perspective. That's 4 Teslas, a lifetime supply of avocado toast, or enough money to never worry about gas prices ever again. You might be wondering, okay, how do I find one? Well, first off, start with your change jar. You'd be surprised how many people don't check their coins at all. Second, hit up local coin shows, flea markets, and estate sales. And third, learn what to look for. Here's your cheat sheet for the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Errors to hunt for: number 1, doubling on Lincoln's ear jacket and date; number 2, off-center strikes or misaligned dies; number 3, smooth planchets missing certain layers; number 4, die cracks, especially around the rim or face; and of course the big 1, red condition, untouched surface like it just came out of the mint. But don't just eyeball it, invest in a loop or even a USB microscope. They're cheap and worth it, trust me. You'll feel like a detective from CSI. Coin scene investigation. Now let's talk grading for a second. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If you think you found a good one, send it in to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll slap it in a fancy case and officially give you that cha-ching stamp of approval. And you know what else goes hand in hand with rare coin stories? People love a good coin story. A 2016 penny selling for $1 million isn't just about the metal, it's about the moment, the collector, the thrill of the hunt. And just in case you think you don't have the time for this, let me ask you this: how many times do you scroll through your phone each day? What if instead of doom scrolling you scrolled through your change? You could literally turn pennies into profit. That's the real glow up right there. I even heard of someone finding an ultra rare penny while waiting in line at the grocery store. They dropped a quarter, bent down to pick it up, and noticed the penny underneath it had a doubling error. They sent it and got it graded, and guess what? It's now estimated at 6 figures. Moral of the story: always check your change and don't ignore those floor coins. So here's the bottom line, my friends: the 2016 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might seem like your everyday coin, but under the right conditions it can be a life changer. With a current market value of $1.4 million, it's proof that hidden treasures don't always sparkle, sometimes they just jingle in your pocket. So keep your eyes open, your magnifier handy, and your curiosity alive, because who knows, you could be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth serious money, make sure to smash that subscribe button like you're squashing a spider on your pillow. Hit the bell so you don't miss any updates, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a weird coin, or if you're about to start digging through your couch cushions after this. Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where pocket change might just make you rich. Now let me ask you something: have you ever checked your couch cushions and thought, man, I wish this penny was worth $1 million? Well, what if I told you that a plain old penny from 1978 with no mint mark could be worth $15 million? Yep, you heard that right. 1 cent could literally change your life faster than your last New Year's resolution failed. Now before you flip over every coin jar in your house, stick around, because today we're diving into why the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny is worth a small fortune, what makes it special, and how you might spot one hiding in your collection. And trust me, this story includes some wild twists, turns, and one very embarrassing moment from my childhood you won't want to miss. Alright, so let's talk about this mysterious little copper hero. The 1978 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. Most of these coins are just your regular run-of-the-mill pennies found in vending machines, junk drawers, and under your car seat. But here's the twist: if your 1978 penny does not have a mint mark right below the date, then you might want to hold on tight, because you could be looking at a coin that's worth up to $15 million in the current collector's market. That's not a typo, my friends. 1.5 million real American dollars for one brown coin that smells like your grandpa's change jar. Now I Know what you're thinking, okay cool, but why is this one so valuable? Well, it all comes down to rarity condition and a bit of good old-fashioned minting drama. You see, most 1978 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver and San Francisco. The ones from Philadelphia usually don't have a mint mark that's normal, but a handful of error coins or specially preserved versions were found in nearly perfect condition or with unique flaws, making them ultra rare and ultra expensive. Imagine a penny so perfect that coin nerds drool over it at conventions. That's the kind of quality we're talking about here. Mint state, red luster, no scratches, sharp details, the kind of coin that makes collectors go full Gollum, my precious. Now let me tell you a little story. Back when I was about 10 years old, I found a shiny penny on the sidewalk. Felt like the universe had just handed me a gift from above, so naturally I did what any financially unwise kid would do. I walked straight to the corner store and traded that beauty for a grape. Now and later, fast forward 15 years, I'm watching a coin show and they're talking about a 1978 no mint mark penny worth thousands, and I swear to you my soul left my body. I had a flashback to that exact penny, the shine, the date, everything. I could practically hear it whispering, why would you trade me for candy? So yeah, I might have chewed away my fortune that day, but hey, that's why I'm here now, to help you avoid the same mistake and maybe even strike gold in your own coin jar. Alright, here's what you need to look for if you want to identify a potentially valuable 1978 no mint mark penny. Second, flip it over and look under the date on the front. If there's no mint mark, that means it came from Philadelphia. That's what we're looking for. Third, check the condition. This is where it gets serious. If it looks like it's been through a blender, sorry, no jackpot, but if it's bright red with full original luster, minimal wear and strong details, you might be onto something. Also look for errors like doubling on the lettering, misaligned dies, or any other funky features that make it unique. These oddities can increase the value faster than a rare Pokemon card during recess, and if you're really unsure, take it to a professional coin grader. They'll give it an official rating and possibly even blow your mind. So there you have it, folks. The humble 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny might be sitting in your pocket right now, just waiting to turn your boring Tuesday into a luxury yacht party. And remember, even if yours isn't worth 15 million, it could still be worth a few hundred or a few thousand depending on conditions. So it pays to check now. If you enjoyed this video and want more coin tips, money making stories, and life-changing penny hunts, make sure to smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. Hit that bell too so you don't miss out on the next episode where we talk about a coin that's literally worth more than some houses. And hey, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Have you ever accidentally spent one on gum therapy like I did? Let's swap stories and help each other find the next $1 million treasure. Okay, picture this. You're digging through the junk drawer looking for that one pen that works, and instead you find a dusty old penny. You think nothing of it, toss it back and go on with your life. But what if I told you that little penny could be worth over $1.6 million? That's right, 1.6 million for 1 cent. You'd be kicking yourself right. Welcome back to the channel, folks, where we talk coins, not cryptocurrency, not arcade tokens, not Chuck E. Cheese pizza tokens. We're talking good old-fashioned money, the kind you might already have in your couch cushions. Today we're diving into the legendary, the surprising, the possibly life-changing 1962 D Lincoln penny. That's the one with the tiny little D under the date, and if you've got the right one, you might just be sitting on a treasure. Stick around because we're gonna cover everything you need to know: what makes this coin special, what errors to look for, how to spot a fake, and why collectors are going absolutely bonkers over it. We've got stories, laughs, and yes, a tale of how I almost spent a coin that could have paid off my student loans 3 times over. Let's go. Alright, let's get into it. The 1962 D Lincoln penny. Now at first glance it looks like every other penny you've seen in your life. Good old Abe Lincoln looking off into the distance, probably thinking about how tired he is of being in everyone's pocket. But here's where things get spicy. That little D under the date stands for the Denver Mint. That's where these particular pennies were struck, and in 1962 they made a lot of them, like over 2 billion. That's billion with a B. So why is one worth $1,600,000? It all comes down to a magical word in the coin world: rarity. Not all 1962 D pennies are rare. In fact, most of them are worth exactly 1 cent, maybe 2 if you're lucky at a yard sale, but a very, very small number of them have something special. We're talking about mint errors, unusual compositions, double dies, off-center strikes, and incredibly high grades from professional grading services. Double die: this happens when the coin is stamped twice but not quite lined up perfectly. The result: you'll see Abe's face or the date looking a little blurry or doubled like your vision after staying up all night watching coin videos, which I definitely don't do every week. Off-center strikes: these are like the printing mistakes of the coin world. The coin gets struck but the image is off-center. Sometimes you only see part of Abe's face or a missing rim. Collectors go nuts for these, especially if the coin still has all the important parts visible. High-grade coins. Now here's where things get real. If your 1962 D penny looks like it just came from the mint, shiny clean, no scratches, and you send it off to get graded and it comes back as MS67 or higher, that's mint state 67, then you're talking serious money. One of these coins was auctioned off not long ago for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. That's not a typo, $1.6 million for a penny. It's The coin collecting version of hitting the jackpot in Vegas, but without the regrets and buffet stomachache. And here's the twist: this wasn't just because of an error, it was the condition. The coin was in pristine condition, near perfect, and that's what made it worth millions. The same way an unopened toy from the 80s is worth way more than the one you chewed on as a kid. Now here's the fun part: you might have one of these and not even know it. They're out there in the wild, just chilling in old jars, forgotten drawers, or grandma's purse from 1975. Let me tell you what happened to me a few years back. I was at a garage sale flipping through some old boxes, because that's what I do when people are selling junk. I like to buy junk and pretend it's treasure. I found a Ziploc bag full of pennies, paid $1 for the whole bag, thinking, hey, maybe I'll get lucky. Later that night, I'm going through the coins. I find a 1962 D. Looks shiny, almost too shiny. I think, how wouldn't that be wild if this was worth something? So I look it up, start researching, realize this thing could be worth big bucks. I send it off to get graded, all hopeful, sweating like a guy who bought a lottery ticket for the first time. It comes back MS-64. Now MS-64 is good, very good, but not quite the $1 million mark, still worth a few $100. So I didn't retire early, but hey, I basically turned a penny into a steak dinner. That's a win in my book. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, alright coin guy, how do I check if my 1962 D penny is worth a fortune? Here's what you do: grab a magnifying glass or your phone camera zoomed in real good to look at the date and mint mark. Is the D clear or doubled? Is the date doubled? Does anything look funny, unusual, misaligned? Cool, you might have something. 3. Check the condition. If it's scratched, dented, dirty, probably not worth much, but if it looks crisp with sharp details and no major flaws, you're in business. 4. Consider getting it graded. You can send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what you've got and give it an official grade. That's how you get serious buyers to pay serious money. 5. If you're not sure, ask an expert, or better yet, keep watching channels like this one where we break it all down for regular folks, not just coin nerds, even though I'm definitely a coin nerd. So there you have it, folks. The 1962 D Lincoln penny might just be your golden ticket or copper ticket. Technically one small coin, one big surprise. You never know what's hiding in plain sight in your change jar, your junk drawer, or the random pennies you keep tossing in your car's cup holder. Check those coins. You could be sitting on a small fortune without knowing it. And if you're like me and love a good treasure hunt, well, congratulations, you're in the right place. Now, before you rush off to flip your couch cushion, smash that subscribe button like you're striking a coin from the mint. Hit that bell so you don't miss the next video, where we'll uncover more coins worth serious money, and some that could even be life-changing like this video. If you learned something new, share it with that friend who still thinks pennies are useless, and tell us in the comments, have you ever found a valuable coin in the wild? Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into paychecks. Today I've got a story that's going to blow your socks off and maybe even your shoes. What if I told you that there's a penny from 2016 with no mint mark, just your average looking Lincoln penny, that's worth a jaw-dropping, heart-thumping, wallet-busting $1.7 million? Yeah, I know you're thinking, what the heck are you talking about? It's just a penny. Well, buckle up, because I'm about to tell you why this tiny little copper-colored coin could be the key to your retirement fund. Now, before we dive in, let me set the scene. It's 2016. You're scrolling through your phone, arguing with strangers about whether the dress is blue or gold. You probably just got a few of these pennies back as change from your trip to the store to buy a soda or maybe a lottery ticket, and you probably didn't even look at them. I mean, who really checks their change? Right, well, some lucky person did, and guess what? They discovered a 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a rare error. So rare it's now sitting pretty at $1.7 million in value, worth more than most sports cars. So let's dig into how this happened, what makes this coin so special, and how you can start checking your change like a detective hunting for buried treasure. And stick around, because I've got a story about a penny I found that made me believe in coin karma. The 2016 Lincoln penny is part of the modern shield reverse design. Honest Abe's face on the front, a big OL shield on the back. No mint mark means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which is usually the default mint if they don't stamp a mark on the coin. Now you're probably thinking, okay, I get that, but what makes one of these worth over $1 million? Good question, and the answer is a sweet little thing we call a mint error. And no, I'm not talking about peppermint candy mistakes, although I would also pay good money to see that. See, in the world of coin collecting, errors are gold. Well, copper, you get what I mean. This particular 2016 penny had a crazy rare double die error. That's when the coin is struck twice by the die and the design is slightly off, giving it the doubled image look. It might show up in the date, the letters in Liberty, or even good ol' Abraham's face. Now, most double die coins are subtle, but this one was like double vision without needing glasses. Collectors lost their minds. The coin was discovered by a sharp-eyed coin enthusiast going through their spare change. Now here's where it gets fun. This person had no clue what they were doing at first. They were just bored during quarantine and started looking at coins. Boom, $1 million penny. Imagine that, turning boredom into bank. And before you ask, no, this wasn't one of those coins that was passed down from great-grandpa's dusty collection. It was sitting in a cup holder in their car. That's how wild this is. You might be driving around with a life-changing penny in your vehicle right now. Just check under the seat. So how does a coin like this reach 1.7 million. It's a combo of rarity, condition, demand, and sheer dumb luck. Only one or two known examples have shown this exact error with such clarity. The coin was also graded MS69, which means basically perfect, not a scratch, not a dent, a true unicorn of coins. Now let's talk about grading real quick because it matters. If you think you've got a special penny, don't just throw it in a sandwich bag and hope for the best. You need to send it off to a professional grading service like PCGS or Ankthiel. Authenticated, graded, and give you the lowdown. Then the serious buyers come knocking. I once sent in a penny that looked pretty cool under a magnifying glass. Thought I was gonna retire early. Turns out it was just smudged from my coffee fingers. Lesson learned: always wash your hands before inspecting coins. What would you do if you found a $1.7 million penny? Would you sell it right away, frame it, and hang it on the wall? Take it on tour like it's a rock star? Personally, I'd name mine Pennies and carry her around in a tiny velvet pouch. And speaking of stories, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a coin worth $500. I was cleaning out the junk drawer, you know, the one with pens that don't work, expired batteries, and coupons from 2014. I found this weird looking penny. At first I thought it was just dirty, but something about it caught my eye. I googled it and turns out it was an off-center strike penny from 1983. Sent it in for grading. Boom, $500, not a million, sure, but hey, it paid for my weekend tacos and then some. So if you're not checking your change yet, what are you even doing? Coins like this are still out there. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny is just one example. There are dozens of valuable pennies, nickels, quarters, and more. All it takes is a little patience, a good eye, and maybe a magnifying glass that doesn't come from a cereal box. Alright folks, let's bring it home. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million is proof that hidden treasures are still out there. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who likes a good story, this coin reminds us to pay attention to the small stuff, because sometimes the smallest things have the biggest value. So the next time someone says you're wasting time checking your coins, just smile, because you might be one penny away from changing your life. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and stories that'll make you laugh, cry, and dig through your couch cushion, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a beat on this coin collecting journey. Got a crazy coin story? Drop it in the comments. I love reading them. Who knows, maybe your story will be featured in the next video. Alright folks, let's talk about something that could literally change your life right now. Picture this. You're digging through the couch cushions looking for the remote, and bam, you find a dirty penny from 2015. You squint, you rub it on your jeans. No mint mark. You're about to toss it aside and forget it ever existed. But wait, what if I told you that penny could be worth $1.8 million? Yup, not $18, not $1,800, $1.8 million for a tiny little brown coin that most of us ignore. No, this is not clickbait. This is not one of those make money overnight scams. This is the real deal, and I'm gonna break down everything you need to know about the 2015 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Why it's worth so much, what makes it special, how to tell if you have one, and yes, I'm even gonna tell you about the time I accidentally almost threw one into a fountain while making a wish for pizza. So buckle up, grab your coin jar, and let's get into the penny that could turn you into a millionaire faster than you can say Honest Abe. Let's start with a little background for those of you who don't stare at coins all day like some of us weirdos. The Abraham Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, marking the first time a real person appeared on U.S. coinage. Lincoln's been hanging out in our pockets and under our car seats ever since. I now fast forward to 2015. This was not supposed to be a big coin year. No new design, no flashy announcement, just more Lincoln pennies being cranked out at the Philadelphia Mint. And here's the kicker: coins made at the Philadelphia Mint usually have no mint mark. So at first glance, this 2015 no mint mark penny doesn't look special. It's like the Clark Kent of coins. But like Clark Kent, there's a superhero hiding under those glasses. It comes down to an extremely rare mint error combined with an incredibly high grade. Basically, this specific coin was struck on a planchet meant for a dime, not a penny. Yep, this little guy ended up getting printed on the wrong blank piece of metal and somehow slipped past the quality control team, probably because somebody had too much coffee and not enough sleep. Instead of being destroyed or recycled, this weird little hybrid penny got released into the wild like a rare Pokemon. Now combine that with the fact that it was graded MS70, which in coinspeak means perfect mint condition, and you've got yourself a one-of-a-kind collector's dream. Here's the part that's bananas: someone actually found one of these in their change at a convenience store. That's right, they bought a bottle of soda and a candy bar, handed the cashier a $5, and one of the coins they got back was a $1.8 million penny. Imagine that. I buy snacks, I gain calories. This guy buys snacks and gains a fortune. Where is the justice? And that brings me to my personal story, because I too had a 2015 penny with no mint mark. I found it while cleaning out my car, and since it looked brand new, I stuck it in my pocket. Later that day, I was walking by a mall fountain and I did what any slightly dramatic adult does. I made a wish and tossed that penny in. I wished for a pizza party, not knowing I had just flung nearly $2 million into the water. Now I can't confirm that it was the penny, but I did go back later with a pool net and security kicked me out before I could find it. True story. The pizza was good though, first check for the year 2015 and no mint mark under the date. That part's easy. Then look at the coin closely. Does it seem weirdly shiny or different from other pennies? Try flipping it next to a regular one. Does it sound different? Sometimes coins struck on the wrong metal have a different ring. But your best bet if you think you've got something special is to take it to a coin dealer or submit it to a professional grading service. They've got microscopes and magnifying glasses and monocles and all kinds of wizard tools to tell you if your penny is just lucky or legendary. And let's not forget the importance of condition. A 2015 no mint mark penny with wear and tear is still cool, but it probably won't buy you a yacht. The MS-70 grade is key. That's what made this coin fetch $1.8 million at auction. Mint state coins are basically untouched by human hands. Like they've been chilling in a vault wrapped in bubble wrap since birth. Now let's break down the buyer's side. Why would someone spend that much money on a penny? It's not because they want to use it at a vending machine, I'll tell you that. It's about rarity, history, and investment. Rare coins tend to increase in value over time, and collectors, especially the hardcore ones, are willing to pay big bucks for something unique. Owning a rare penny is like owning a piece of treasure that no one else can touch. Plus, they can casually drop it into conversation like, hey, wanna see my $1.8 million coin? Yeah, it's a penny, no big deal. So now that you know what to look for and what makes this coin so valuable, let's talk strategy. Start by checking your spare change every time you go to the store. Look at your piggy banks, your glove compartments, old junk drawers, grandma's coin jar, and that weird box of junk in the garage. You'd be surprised where valuable coins like to hide, and don't just stop at pennies. Other coins like nickels, dimes, quarters, even those old state quarters can be worth serious cash if they have errors or rare features. The trick is knowing what to look for and keeping your eyes peeled. Also keep learning. There's a whole world of coin collectors out there, and the more you know, the more likely you are to spot something valuable. Follow coin groups online, check out price guides, and of course subscribe to this channel because I'll be dropping more tips on coins worth money faster than you can say numismatics. Alright folks, we've come to the end of this coin caper, and hopefully you're now convinced that checking your change is worth your time. The 2015 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of pocket change, it's a potentially life-changing treasure hiding in plain sight. You don't need to be a coin expert, you don't need a metal detector, you just need curiosity, a good eye, and maybe a little bit of luck. Who knows, the next time you reach into your pocket you could be holding a coin worth more than your car, your house, or your entire Spotify playlist combined. And hey, if I've taught you anything today, it's this. Never underestimate a penny. Especially one without a mint mark. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment if you've ever found a weird coin, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin tips, funny stories, and real strategies to help you find coins worth real money.